What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is the only sports podcast. That's right, the only sports podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino, who's usually over there, but he will be back in a moment. We are here today for what? Maybe our third, fourth show this week. I don't know. There's been a lot week before the season starts. Less than a week now because we're recording this on a Friday. Next Thursday, the NFL season officially kicks off. We finally finished yesterday going division by division and just talking about every team. On Monday's show, we will make our final division winner predictions. We'll say who we think is going to be MVP, all those awards, rookie of the year, what we think our Super Bowl matchup's going to be. And then Wednesday's show, I mean, it's just predictions. Predicting week one. We're also going to do a Friday show. Me and Casino will either do it or I'll do it, where we could just talk about opening night and then away we go. But
Sorry. Right as it was starting, my daughter yells from the bedroom, like, "Dad!" And I'm just like, okay.
But I was just saying we're less than a week away. We're 6 days, Casino,
Ooh,
from
I'm
the
so
new
excited.
football season.
Let's go.
It's amazing. Also, today we will be debuting a new segment, which used to be called Casino's Fantasy Corner.
Yeah.
Has now been given a new name because
Oh
both
no.
Casino and I are in fantasy football leagues this year. So we'll talk about our teams, talk about fantasy football. But before that, Casino, I feel like we have to talk about the Micah Parsons fallout and just what has happened from that breaking news yesterday, which
yeah.
if you listen to or watch our last episode, about an hour into the episode, or an hour, I think it was like an hour, like 10, an hour 15, something like that. Right towards when we were about to end the episode, that news broke. Casino broke it on the show, and the news had been posted for like 5 minutes. So we jumped on that, and you can go see our live reactions. I also put that into a clip that's on our YouTube channel as well, also on TikTok. So you can go watch that if you don't want to watch the whole show. But just now that we've had, we're about a day removed from it. You've seen all the reactions, all the news. We now know that it's official, and they got Kenny Clark, 2 first-round picks. Just thoughts on it with some now time to just reflect on it, Casino.
I feel like it's a lot, but I don't at the same time. I mean, I kind of touched on it yesterday. This is what the Rams did, a handful of years ago. They went all in, and this seems like what the Packers are doing. They're a young team. They have the money right now to do it. They have the space to do it. They were able to hit on a lot of draft picks over the past few years. So good for them. And yeah, this is kind of like a win now. They've already been on everybody's like bubble, and bringing in a player that can easily take about 2 games away from the other teams. Like this is a big move. And you know what? It's funny because Jerry Jones, he needs to go, man. Well, here's the thing: those 2 first rounders, right? Do you really think those 2 first rounders are going to be anywhere in the top 10? No. Like these are going to be the 20 plus, hell, even closer to 28, right?
Well, that's what I'm confused by. You started this by saying it's a lot. It's a lot for who? Because 2 first-round picks and an aging run-stopping D tackle from the Packers doesn't seem like nearly enough to get.
This still seems like a lot. I mean,
that is not a lot. It's not, though. It's not.
2 first rounds, like that's a lot. Come on, man. That's a lot.
It is not. It's not 2 first-round picks, though. It's going to be 2 first-round picks that are going to be picks 26 to 32.
That's what that's
2 years.
But if you just look at what trades do, like typically you don't see a lot of 2 first rounders go plus, players and et cetera, et cetera. And that's a lot of money on that deal as well, man. Like this is a lot. It's a lot. But
I don't think it's a lot on the trade. I do agree that it's a lot with money. Like that is a lot of money to sign where your non-quarterback is being paid $47 million a year. That is a lot of money. But like you said, what is it? Packers are already a young team, and they're not really paying anybody else on their team. So
not quite.
money. And if your team did this, your Patriots would have traded 2 first-round picks and some random D lineman. Would you be ecstatic that you guys got Micah Parsons?
Yes. If we had the young team and we didn't have all that money put into the team and we had the cap space, yes, I'd be all for it. I would be all for it.
Yeah. Again, I think if my Eagles
And that's
would
why
have
I'm criticizing Jerry Jones.
Well, yeah. And also, previous to the addition of Micah Parsons, the Packers to win the Super Bowl were plus 2,200. They jumped all the way up to plus 1,300. They are now only behind Bills, Ravens, Eagles, Chiefs, and Lions. I think, honestly, at this point, and I already
You
did this
put
in
them above the Lions and you
my
put them
Super Bowl
above the
bubble.
Chiefs.
I would not put them above the Chiefs. I would put them above the Lions. I would honestly put them, I think plus to go from 2,200 to plus 1,000 where the Lions are, that's where I would put them. So I do think they probably, in my eyes, would have the 5th best chance to get to the Super Bowl right now. In the NFC, if we're just going NFC, I really think it's going to be Eagles, Packers, NFC Championship game, unless, Tampa Bay
Bucks are going
gets
to be
hot
in
at the
that.
right moment.
Bucks
Yeah.
are going to be in there.
So, but again, when we talk about the Packers, obviously Micah Parsons, the addition is huge. Losing Kenny Clark apparently to Jerry Jones, he's like Kenny Clark is this amazing run-stopping defensive tackle, except when you look at his stats, and every year he's become a worse rushing defender. So he's also kind of fallen off a cliff the past 2 years.
Okay, is
So
that just also situation, dude? Does he just not want to be a Cowboy?
who? No, I'm saying the Kenny Clark.
Oh, Clark.
The defensive tackle. So
Yeah. My bad.
And also the Packers were like 27th in the league in pressuring the opposing quarterback. Micah Parsons is number 1 in the league in pressuring quarterback. So to get that kind of upgrade on a defense that needed it. Now, this is the question. Is the Packers defense is good, but it's not great, and their cornerbacks are not good. Their safeties are middle of the road. Do you think this vaults the Packers defense into being a top 5 elite defense this year?
Top 5? No, I don't think top 5. Top 10 easily.
That's kind of where I'm at, because if we look at it, I still think Eagles defense.
I still think, though, that this can bring about an extra 2 games, maybe 3 games to the Packers.
No, that's true. So last year, the Packers in total defense were top 5. Yeah. They were the 5th best defense. Their passing defense, however, was, let me see if I can find this right here.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, like, the reason I say that is because really one turnover can swing the entire game, right? And you don't think Parsons is going to be able to get in there and either turnover on downs or forcing a fumble, something like that, or hell, even pushing them back to a 3rd and like 20, and then they can't make that conversion and then they have to punt it. He's going to make an impact when he needs to make an impact. And I can see him winning 2 to 3 games, not single-handedly, but being that turning point for 2 to 3 games.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't know what I was talking about. Their passing defense, 13th in the league. I don't think that's bad. I think it only improves.
I was going to say, I was going to let you talk on that because you typically look up the stats, but I was like, I don't remember them being that bad.
Yeah, I just think I don't like their corners, but then their rush defense was 7th in the league, which is how they ended up being top 5. So both those are obviously going to get better with the addition of Micah Parsons. I don't think Kenny Clark. Yeah. And also
this team has realistically got a real shot to go not only to the Super Bowl, but win it.
Yeah. And the craziest thing is they were already the youngest team in the league, and they traded away one of their oldest players for someone 4 years younger. So the average age of the youngest team in the NFL just got younger. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
Their average age was 25.1 years old.
Yeah.
And they traded away. That probably just went under 25.
Yeah, they traded away a 30-year-old and brought in a 26-year-old. So it is insane how this Packers team has really just built this kind of like quiet team in a division that for the past couple of years has been ruled
They've
by,
drafted very well.
yeah,
They
they
brought in
and
the
they've
right
signed a
pieces.
bunch of young guys. It's
Yep.
amazing. And
Yeah.
also
And that's
the
why we always
Packers.
talk about the Packers being one of the best organizations to do it, right? One of the best organizations in football to do it. Look what they've done with their quarterbacks for years and years and years outside of Love. And I do say that because he can sling the ball, but he needs to be proven. And I haven't seen it yet.
Well, past 2 seasons. So last year he played 15 games. He had 63% completion percentage, 3,300 yards, 25 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Year previous to that, he was 64% completion percentage, 4,200 yards, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. And then the other 2 years, he didn't play. He only played in 10
Yeah,
games.
those are
So
decent. Those are decent numbers. I mean, a lot of teams would take that as their quarterback numbers, but if you want to be considered that Packer great, like, everybody expects him to be, he needs to bring it up a little bit.
well, especially he's got the Justin Herbert thing where when you look at his regular season numbers, you're like, these are pretty good. And then last year in the playoffs, he was 20 for 33, 212 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So again, it it really comes down to when you close your eyes, Casino. And for the people listening or watching, especially if you're driving, let's do this together. Close your eyes. Do you picture Jordan Love holding a Super Bowl trophy at the end of the year?
No, because
Because
he can't
I
hold
do
it up
not.
with that bad thumb of his.
You are very focused on his thumb. Every time we talk about Jordan Love, you bring up his thumb. It is the thumb an issue still? I thought he was fine.
I don't know. It's just fun to say.
But
Because
again,
every time I hear somebody say Jordan Love or I picture him, I just think of him giving a thumbs up with like a big old bandage, like a cartoon bandage
yeah, just a
size on his
giant
thumb.
one like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But see, that's where maybe we have a Super Bowl 1997 rematch where it's Broncos Packers. I mean, that's a possibility. But again, when you do the exercise where you close your eyes, Bo Nix and Jordan Love are the two quarterbacks on the teams that are like
That's all I
the
see.
most.
That's all I
they're
see.
the most preseason hype teams, but I can't see in my mind's eye in the future because obviously I'm a football oracle. I
No,
can't
I can see you.
see.
No, you have that wonderful
I got
little.
the dot. I got my birthmark thing right
You
here.
got your third eye right there.
Yeah, and it's not showing me Bo Nix holding a Super Bowl trophy or Jordan Love holding a Super Bowl trophy. I just don't see it, especially in a league where we've never seen Burrow, we've never seen Lamar Jackson, we've never seen Josh Allen hold up Super Bowl trophies. Like to be like,
Yeah, and
oh,
realistically, 2 of those 3 will never.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like everybody does the comp where it's like, oh, Mahomes is Brady, Peyton Manning is, Lamar, Josh Allen, however you want to put it. And then it's like, but there's also guys who are like Phillip Rivers, Big Ben, Aaron Rodgers. Like in that scenario, Manning won 2, Brady won 6 when he was with the Patriots. And then it was like Rivers was a great quarterback, won none. Big Ben won 2. And I kind of think in that scenario, like Jalen Hurts to me is the Big Ben in that scenario. Like I could see this Eagles squad with Hurts winning another Super Bowl and them being like a
Oh, sorry.
two-time.
You started talking about the Eagles again. I fell asleep.
Yeah. But no, I could see Hurts in that scenario winning 2 Super Bowls. And then you have to be like out of Burrow, Lamar, and Josh Allen, like one of those guys has to win at least one. One of those guys has to be Rodgers and just win one.
I just realized my light went out.
And then one of them has to be, I think, again, I just think when you look at the teams, I think Lamar Jackson, everyone focuses on Josh Allen, but Lamar Jackson to me is the Peyton Manning equivalent, not in terms of their play style, but just in terms of like just putting up ungodly numbers, always playing like these really smash mouth close games with the Chiefs and then kind of just dominating them in the regular season. In the playoffs, it's different. But that can also be applied to Josh Allen. So I don't
So you're
know.
saying
I
Lamar
don't
is
know.
going to win one, and then he's going to go to another team and win another. Sounds good.
I mean, it's either I could see that scenario for either him or what is it, Josh Allen. Like Burrow again. Burrow just he
I don't think
feels
Josh
like
Allen's going to go anywhere. I think Josh Allen is going to be the Mike Trout of the NFL, and he will just wither away eventually into that team.
See, that's what I was going to say. I think what Joe Burrow is going to be, which Joe Burrow to me in the scenario is going to be Phillip Rivers. Just like this guy that when all is said and done, you go, wow, he had really great numbers, but at least more than Phillip Rivers, he at least got to a Super Bowl. And again, if he would have won that Super Bowl instead of Stafford, the legacy shift we would have when talking about Burrow and talking about Stafford would be ridiculous. But it's crazy when I do that scenario in my head where it's just like, man, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are basically just Peyton Manning. Like in terms of Peyton Manning, it feels like would have won much more Super Bowls, many more Super Bowls if there just wasn't Tom Brady in his same conference. And with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs and Andy Reid, it's like he's kind of is now stopping two Peyton Mannings. But yeah, but all that being said, the main point of this was, do we think Jordan Love can elevate
No,
himself to the level of those guys we talked about? I don't
no.
think so either.
All right.
That's the thing. But again, if you're a Packers fan, you're saying, why are we talking about this right now? Our top 5 defense just got better. Like, who cares about Jordan Love? It's and again, his numbers are not bad outside of the postseason, but in the postseason 2023 his numbers were great. Last year they were abysmal. So who knows? But again, then it's maybe he was injured last year, it was lingering, I don't know. I am officially, we're doing our division picks and who we think's going to the playoffs. After putting them in the Super Bowl bubble, even before Parsons, I was going to pick them to win the NFC North. And so this just kind of solidifies my pick for that, because again, I've said multiple times on this podcast how many question marks I have for the Lions, like what they're going to be. And I like consistency over, oh, well, it's just plug and play. Like, let's just take a guy who worked on the staff last year and promote him. Like, I've seen that story with the Eagles, and it's not a pretty story. Neither of those guys who were in-house hires are currently like any type of coordinator in the NFL. So that's where you, as a Lions fan, I feel like you should be worried.
Fair
Just
enough.
these in-house the promotions. But outside of that, I mean,
We're 19 minutes in and we haven't even started fantasy,
it's
which I
just,
thought was the only thing we were doing today.
well, yeah, but we had to talk about the Micah Parsons. And then quickly, last little bit on the Micah Parsons fallout. Does this officially make it where what the Cowboys are a 5-6 win team? Like that's their ceiling. They're obviously going to score a lot of points, but their defense was bad with Micah Parsons and they couldn't stop a nosebleed. Like without Micah Parsons, they can't stop a nosebleed and they can no longer pressure the quarterback. Like this feels like opening night. Again, I was worried because I was like, I don't know, what if Micah Parsons puts on a show, blah blah blah. Now, if it's not a blowout, I would be worried. Like as an Eagles fan, I'd be like, why are we not killing this team? Like that's how bad I
Good
think
point.
the Cowboys are
No,
going to be.
yeah, the Cowboys are going to be absolutely horrible. You guys are going to crush them opening night.
Oh, from your mouth to God's ears. Last year, the Cowboys were 28th in the league in total defense. And again, Micah was injured last year, but most of the guys, they didn't sign anybody in free agency. So they got one guy who can stop the run. So apparently that's what Jerry Jones did. They said they need to stop the run, which really shows you Jerry's age, where Jerry Jones is saying we need to get a guy to stop the run after trading away his best pass rusher to stop the pass. In 2025, what do you think is more important, stopping the pass in the NFL or stopping the run? Because I don't know if he's been watching football the last 20 years, but game's kind of leaning towards passing. So I don't know. But outside of that, Casino, anything else to say
No,
about NFL news, or can we jump into fantasy?
we can jump into fantasy again. I didn't even know we were talking about all of this, but good stuff.
Good stuff. Let's go to our new segment, Casino, and you're gonna love this. It's time for the fantasy football freak off. In honor of
What do we got going on with that picture?
what? It's just behind us. It's behind this picture is just it's I typed in baby oil. I think it just gave me regular oil. But yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. It just says fantasy football freak off. Now fantasy football freak off. So both Casino and I think we had our drafts a day apart, maybe 2 days apart.
Something like that.
So let's talk about our teams, what we expect for going into this fantasy football season. I'm in one of the leagues I've been in for 5-6 years.
Pick one league.
Yeah, I'm only in one.
Oh, okay.
The other one I've been in for a long time, nobody's responding. But that's one of those ones I kind of met online, and it just keeps getting renewed every year. So I think that one might be over. But this one, you drafted first, so let's walk us through your team. And because you're in love with your team, my team, I'm kind of lukewarm on.
Yeah, no, I'm in love with my team. So basically, I'm the commissioner. How mine worked is my staff, my coworkers were like, "Oh, let's put together one," and I was like, "All right, sure." So I said, "I'll put it together." And then, of course, my wife was like, "Oh, if you're gonna do it, I want to be in it. But if you're gonna do it, or if I'm gonna do it, then I want our friends be in it who are also friends with our coworkers." And so, just kind of turned into a couples league. And before I even knew it, the spots were filled. So anyway, so with that, I made it a double quarterback league. So instead of a flex, I did an OP, right? So we got a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, an OP, a defense, and a kicker, right? And then for my bench, I have 7 bench players. That's how I set it up for the league. So pretty standard. So instead of the flex, all I did was change it to the OP. So basically, you could have that double quarterback for those who aren't familiar with that. So yeah, my quarterback won. I got Baker Mayfield. And the reason this happened was because the 3rd pick overall and 4th pick and so on and so forth, everybody went quarterback first, which typically happens when you make it a double quarterback league. Everybody just kind of eats up the quarterbacks right away. And when it got to me, I got Baker Mayfield, but I am happy with this because not only do I think they win that division, I think they're going to be very competitive, especially on offense. And I think he's going to just go absolutely outrageous. And so my 2 running backs, I got Jamar Gibbs. I got Jacobs as well as my 2 running backs. I'm really good at my running back room. And then this is where I'm a little weak is my receivers. I got Zay Flowers and Worthy as my 2 starters currently. I got Goddard as my tight end. I know he's questionable, but he's proven. I know he can play. My backup quarterback or my second quarterback, I would say, is CJ Stroud. I got the Broncos defense. I was the first selected defense because I'm like, I am going to have the number 1 of something. So I got the number 1 defense. And then I got your kicker, Jake Elliott.
Yeah, buddy.
Yep. And then my bench, I've looked and I've scoured through all the other teams that are in my league, and I think that I have the best bench. I got for running backs, I got Ford and Jones Sr. And then I also, for my wide receivers, I have Jacoby Myers. I have Kahili Shakir, the guy who plays for Buffalo. We'll see how that works out. He's an injured player. And then I got your guy, Devontae Smith, who's also injured. For a backup tight end, I got Otten, who plays for Tampa Bay. And then I got Geno Smith as my 3rd quarterback to rotate whenever we get to the bye weeks. I think I have a solid roster, man. I truly do. So what's your take on it? What do you think? I know you kind of brought it up, but I want you to deep dive after I've done that. Currently, the only player, including my bench, that is not projected over 10 points this week is Goddard with a 9.2. Even the backup tight end is projected 10.
Also, this is as of a couple hours ago. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith both in uniform and practicing today.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
he's
I
not
might be
injured.
Yeah, I might be changing him out with Zay Flowers. Just I'm not sure how that's going to go, but
Well,
yeah,
you know what? Let's actually start there because I actually also have Trey Flowers. So the league I'm in did this
Trey, you mean
weird.
Zay Flowers?
Zay Flowers, yeah. So the league I'm in, again, I've been in for a couple years. I've literally last year was the worst year I've had because my draft was just abysmal. Also, I was one of the ones last year that fell for the what is it? The Brees Hall Brees Hall
Bounced out.
Jets. Yeah, like Jets hype, and then he shit the bed. So when your first round pick just completely plummets, like that's basically, end of your season. So my season got ended by Brees Hall last year. Rest of my team was not much better. But last year was the worst year I've had. I finished in this league. I think we've been doing it for 5 years. I finished like second, like 3 separate times. Never
Oof.
became first, finished second.
Bridesmaid, never a bride.
That's what I'm saying. And this year, the Yahoo draft report gave me a B minus. I think
Ugh.
there was like,
You do Yahoo?
yeah,
Ugh.
I like Yahoo over ESPN.
Nah,
But
nah.
I think there was three teams ranked higher than me, but my team. So what we did this year in this league, I'm not the commissioner of. They changed it to a keeper league where you could keep 1 to 4 people you drafted last year, and then however in whatever round you drafted them last year is the round you take them this year, and you lose that draft pick. So, for instance, somebody kept Saquon Barkley. Last year, he was drafted in the first round, so they just lost their first round pick and just automatically got Barkley. So what I did is the 2 I kept were Drake London, who I drafted, I think, in the 3rd round last year, 2nd or 3rd round last year. And then I kept Brian Thomas Jr., the Jaguars wide receiver, who I drafted in the 9th round last year. So both those guys were projected to be within the top like 13 picks. So I was drafting 7th. I would have either had to reach for one and then pray for the other one. So I would have got screwed there. So technically did pretty good in that front where I got 2 top 13 wide receivers with not my first round pick. My first round pick. Now, here was the issue. Because we did the keeper league, everybody basically kept their first round picks from last year because it was guys like Saquon Barkley, it was guys like CeeDee Lamb, it was guys like Derrick Henry, it's like Bijan Robinson, it's everybody you think it would be, right? So I had the 7th pick, but when it got to me, like everybody that you would normally take was already gone, even the guys that would be 8 or 9. Because again, that's the way we did it. So Christian McCaffrey fell right into my lap, and I was like,
I'm sorry.
well, I was like, I gotta take him because the next guy, I was like, it was a wide receiver, and I was like, I already have a wide receiver. I think it was like Tyreek Hill or something like that. But I was like,
And I would
there's
take McCaffrey over Tyreek Hill because I can't trust Tua.
Well, yeah, and that's what so my reasoning for taking Christian McCaffrey was like, he gets injured every other year, but then when he comes back from an injury, he has like an all-pro season and they usually go to the Super Bowl. So that's fingers crossed what I'm hoping for. After that, the rest of my roster, I got Kenneth Walker III from Seattle. I got Zay Flowers, like Casino's team as well. My tight ends are Tyler Warren, and then I called Casino when this was happening. Second to last round of the draft, I was like, I need another tight end. And I'm up in 2 picks. Nobody else was picking tight ends. So on the board was Kyle Pitts Jr. and Zach Ertz. So I was like, do I go?
I shook my head for both of those for those listening.
Yeah, I was like, do I bite the Kyle Pitts bullet? And then I was like, no,
No.
because a year ago, 2 years ago, this was a guy people were drafting in the 2nd and end of the first round, right? Like this was a guy that now is fallen to the 15th round in a fantasy football draft, like for a reason. And we did that TikTok where I was like, why does everyone hate Kyle Pitts? And that's like our third most popular video because people in the comments are arguing why they hate him. All valid reasons. We
Mhm.
did it in the video, which is he doesn't catch touchdowns and he does not get nearly enough yards as you think he does.
Yeah.
Or you
Sorry, my
think he
daughter's
should.
yelling for me. I'm gonna pitch something to you real quick so you can talk about it. So Gronkowski, he was just talking about how Tyler Warren for the Colts looks like and is probably going to be the next super tight end, like over Brock Bowers and all of them. What do you
Yeah.
think on that?
That was literally and I remember I talked to you about that where I was like, did you see Gronk talk about this? And we discussed like that clip or whatever. Literally almost 100% of the reason why what is it? I drafted him. Also, he's on the Colts. He's in the Shane Steichen offense, which I felt like Steichen when he was with the Eagles. I just felt like Ertz was kind of always in play for big catches and like third down conversions and stuff like that. So I don't know. You draft a tight end in the first round. You're with the Colts. You're trying to establish. I'm actually kind of relieved that it's Daniel Jones throwing to him, which obviously I knew when the draft was happening. Daniel Jones over Anthony Richardson, that would have made me nervous. But so my two tight ends going to this are Tyler Warren, which is my cross my fingers hope pick. And then my backup is Zach Ertz, who is I'm just hoping has basically the same season he did last year, where he's just the Jaden Daniels security blanket. And there we go. Also, my other now again talked a lot about Jordan Love and if he can go back to what he was, last year and especially 2 years ago. Don't care about his playoffs if his regular season's good. Because again, I'm not a Packers fan. I just need him for my fantasy team. He's my starting quarterback right now. And then I also got CJ Stroud in like the third to last round where I drafted another quarterback. It was between him and Herbert. And I was like, should I draft Herbert just for the show? Because that would be funny if I'm like one of the biggest Justin Herbert haters, as I've been proclaimed or as I've been told I am, even though I don't hate the guy. I just think he's overrated. But I did think like, man, should I just do this for the show? But then I was like, CJ Stroud, I feel like had a great rookie year. And then last year he just got hurt with injuries, like on his O line and wide receivers. So even though it would have been funny to take Justin Herbert, I took CJ Stroud just because I think I was getting more value there. And also with that Harbaugh offense, they just never, it feels like he never throws touchdowns or doesn't throw nearly as many as he should. So outside of that, my wide receivers already said Drake London, Brian Thomas were locked in. I got Zay Flowers. I took a flyer on McMillan for the Panthers because, again, Panthers are one of my teams I think is going to be better than everybody thinks they are this year. So rookie from Arizona, again, guy's just giant. And then my other wide receivers, I took Stephon Diggs, your Patriots. I figured he's going to be the number one option. Hopefully he has a year like he did with the
Mhm.
Bills and Vikings when he was their number one option. And then I also took Michael Pittman Jr., which I was saying to Casino, it's funny how the only team I have two players from is the Colts, a team I am not high on at all going into the season, but I am high on Warren, just purely based on him being a first round pick and what Gronk has to say about him. And then Michael Pittman Jr., he's pretty good. And I feel much more confident with Daniel Jones throwing to those guys than Anthony Richardson.
All day.
And then last bit was I only have three running backs on my team: Christian McCaffrey, Kenneth Walker III, and then I have who I'm hoping can lead my team to victory, Casino, and that's RJ Harvey, the rookie running back
Running back.
with the Broncos, who apparently is going to be like the back they give it to like 300 times this year. That's what the scuttlebutt is. I heard John Gruden talking about it. So that's fingers crossed that Sean Payton just runs the hell out of RJ Harvey, and I don't need to pick up. If RJ Harvey and McCaffrey are what I need them to be and what I expect them to be, I really do think this team goes pretty far. So,
Gotcha. So let's
but
just.
B minus, I think B minus is right. I would
Yeah,
give this team a B minus.
I would give your team about a B minus. What would you say mine was?
Run through it one more time. Or no,
Yes.
actually, I have the picture of it. Hold on, you sent me the picture of it.
Yeah, I'll just run through it right here. I have it. So Baker Mayfield, Gibbs, Jacobs, Flowers, Worthy, Goddard, Stroud, Broncos, Elliott. That's my starters. Then I have Ford, Jones, Myers, Otten, Shakir, Smith, and Smith.
Yeah, I'd say you're a B plus. I think your team
A
is
minus
better.
all day.
I think your team is better than me, better than mine, except I hate 2 quarterback leagues. And I
Mine's
don't
at
like your
least
bench at all. I don't like your bench at all.
you don't like my bench.
I don't like your bench at all.
0%.
0% your bench.
You don't think Aaron Jones is going to do well over on the Vikings?
I think I don't like. No, he's the only one on your bench I do like.
You don't like Devontae Smith?
I like Devontae Smith and him. Myers, there's some weird stuff coming out of Raiders camp where like there's already rumors that they're trying to trade him or he's going to be traded.
Yeah, he's going to be traded, especially with them bringing in Amari Cooper. So wherever he goes, he will at least be a number 2.
Yeah, that's true. I don't like Mims. I'm sorry, I don't like.
No, I got rid of Mims and I picked up. I got rid of Mims and I picked up Otten because I needed another tight end. I picked up Cade Otten.
And then Shakir. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Again, I your bench leaves me questioning your starters. I do like. Obviously, we talked about how much we like Baker Mayfield. Worthy. I just don't know. I don't know what he's going to be on the Chiefs.
See, I will tell you what he's going to be. He's going to be that number 1 receiver because Rashee Rice is hurt or not hurt. Suspended for 6 games. Thank you.
But see, I don't know if he can carry the load of being a number 1 wide receiver.
He's going to have to.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think he can do it.
Okay, if you don't think he can do it, you're backing my point on why the Chiefs are going to struggle this year.
Yeah, but I don't. But no, I'm saying I don't think he can be the number 1 wide receiver. I think that's, again, going to just be Kelsey, and then they're going to play good defense.
I don't think Kelsey is going to be able to. Dude, Kelsey's got so much on his plate right now. You and I are both married. You know how that goes to try to plan a wedding and being engaged. Like, dude.
Yeah, but neither of us, shockingly, have hundreds of millions of dollars. So I feel like that takes. Sure. That takes the load off a little bit.
Here. So I know we haven't talked about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey at all, but here's a quick one I want to ask you. Do you think she forces him to sign a prenup?
I think there's been so much talk about this. I don't think either of them sign a prenup. I don't think if they get divorced, either of them try to take money from the other. Like, these aren't people hurting for money. You think Travis Kelsey's probably made over $100 million. He's like a frat boy. He bought a hot tub.
And he could make like $500 million.
Yeah, I just don't think he just never strikes me as the dude to be like, I'm going to take this chick for all her money.
No, and I'm with you on that. I think the prenup thing is a silly, but if somebody was going to do it, you would obviously see her people, and I guarantee you, her people were like, "Hey."
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Well, oh yeah. If you're like her people, you're like, you better get him to sign a prenup. Like, you're one of the richest performers in the world. Like, he better sign a prenup. But also looking at the Kansas City Chiefs, I just think, again, Worthy, obviously when Rashee Rice comes back, he'll be the number 1. But I really think Hollywood Brown is going to emerge as like the number 1 target. We saw him have those great years with with Lamar Jackson. And yeah, I just think he steps in there for Rice, becomes like the go-to target.
You know what? And you could be right there, because obviously we talked about how he's going to have to get the ball out. Mahomes is going to have to get the ball out fast, right? And who's better than Hollywood Brown coming through that slot, right? So we'll see.
Again, Worthy last year as a rookie, 59 receptions, 638 yards. I think we get so focused on like, oh my God, Tyreek Hill, he's so tiny, he's so fast, but he's the outlier. It's like the tiny fast guys are always beat up. Like I loved Deshaun Jackson when he was with the Eagles, but it always felt like with the Eagles, he would have very streaky, really good games where he's burning everybody, and then just a month where you don't even realize he's on the field or he's injured or he got hit too hard. Like it's just like I don't again, he's 5'11, 165 pounds. That's tiny in real life. On the football field, that's like us playing against children. Like that is tiny, tiny. 5'11, 165 pounds. You're getting hit by, you know, 250 pounds, 2% body fat linebackers over the middle. Like
Yeah,
that's
well,
gonna that
guess
takes
what?
its toll.
Yeah, guess what?
Uh,
Guess who did it for years? Guess who was a Super Bowl MVP? Oh yeah, Julian Edelman.
yeah, but he
Grow
but
some, grow some, grow some.
uh, but yeah. So again, I might just be underselling Xavier Worthy, but we've talked about the Chiefs offense. It feels like they never have any really good players, and then they just
Right,
do
and they
just
have
enough to
Kelsey,
win.
but Kelsey's declined, and it's over. It's done. And
Yeah, but
Patrick
the
Mahomes is going to
numbers.
have half a second less this year to throw that football. He's not going to get Travis Kelsey.
Well, again, I think the Chiefs' downfall is more on if their rookie tackle is actually good or not, rather than who's ever Mahomes is
I mean,
throwing
even
to.
if he's good, is he going to be elite enough to give Mahomes enough time? No.
I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway, that's
Uh,
pretty much it that I have for today.
yeah. We just
It
wanted
went long. It went longer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. As far as fantasy goes, it'll be a fun season. We'll do periodic updates every once in a while. Also, the thing I do want to talk about Casino before we get out of here, we should bring back Casino's Corner because what is going on with Manchester United and this big upset that everybody's talking about? Obviously, I don't follow soccer. So here's
Uh,
actually, wait a second. We bring you, I didn't write anything for this, but I do have the old intro. We are going into not the fantasy freak off. We're leaving the fantasy freak off, going into Casino's Corner. So I need to write something for that next episode. It's getting spooky season. Casino's Corner's coming back. What's going on with that whole thing?
yeah. So when the Premier League started so far this year, we've had 2 games, and obviously, Manchester United is in it. They did finish 17th last year, so they were only 1 spot away from being relegated and dropping down to Champions League. So for those who, if you watch Wrexham, that series, that's where Wrexham is currently, is they promoted all the way up into the Champions League. So that's the league right under the Premier League. So you have a thing called League Cup, right? So there's just different types of cups out there, all around the world, and they just do tons of different things. And so for this one, you had Grimsby Town FC. They are a tier 4. They play in League 2. So it goes national in the 5 tiers of professional English football. You have the national, then you go to League 2, League 1, Championship, and then the Premier League. And so in one of these cups that were just that was just happening. Sorry, you're putting me on the spot here. Don't know. I haven't really looked all into it, but essentially it went to penalty kicks, and Grimsby was able to beat out Manchester United, and it was phenomenal because that is a huge upset. So that is a tier 4 team beating a Premier League team, just outright in a cup league play. So that was pretty great.
Now, do they get promoted or anything for
No,
that
no,
win, or was it just friendly?
no, it wasn't friendly. So it was part of this cup, but they did get eliminated because how that tournament is structured, right? So Grimsby eliminated Manchester United early on, which is just crazy because you'd expect, all these Premier League teams and, higher up league teams to get towards the finals, and yeah, they're already out. And I truly do think that Manchester United will be. Let me see here. The EPL. I want to see if they won their last game because I don't know. But Arsenal played them, my team, who is top of the Premier League currently, and they barely beat them. So I was like, oh, okay, that was a good game by Manchester United. So Manchester right now has 1 draw, 1 win in the Premier League. They're sitting 16th, so not great for them. But yeah, it was a big upset in the world of sports, or in the world of soccer, right?
I mean, I've seen like real like major sports shows and stuff talking about it, posting it, saying it's one of the biggest upsets in like sports history.
Oh,
So
dude, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. So yeah, so this was the second round. Sorry, you put me again on the spot here. I didn't have any of this ready up. But yeah, so it was the second round of this tournament, and for the EFL Cup, and yeah, so it went to penalties, and it went all the damn. I didn't know this because I just saw the highlights of it, and I saw the final couple penalties. So it went to the 12th kicker in the penalties, which is
dang.
insane. So that means it got to the goalies, right? So that's intense. That's intense. But no, that's a huge blow, dude. And they almost won it outright because as I'm looking here, they were up. Grimsby Town was up 2-0 all the way up to the 75th minute, and then Man U scored one in the 75th and then scored one in the 89th. So Grimsby almost won this in full time.
Dang. Yeah, that's crazy. That was an impromptu Casinos Corner.
Yeah, I was not ready for this.
We're going to start bringing them back next Monday. So next Monday, we will be doing all our picks from Super Bowl to division winners to who we think is going to be the wild card teams, playoffs, all that kind of stuff. We'll also be doing our MVP, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and then we will start this year by making our first official NFL picks of the year. And that is, of course, where we'll be picking. I mean, who knows, Casino, what a barn burner opening night's going to be with the Eagles and Cowboys at this point. But we'll make those picks. And then next Wednesday, we will do our first official. Oh, man, I even forgot what it was called. What do we call it? It's been so
I have
long,
no idea.
Where it's blank, mid, or miserable. What's the first one?
Marquee,
mid, or miserable. Thank you, Casino. We'll be doing our first marquee, mid, miserable for week 1 of the NFL season. We'll have some Casinos corners in there. We'll do some fantasy freak offs. We'll Super Bowl bubbles coming out in a couple weeks. Football season's almost here. Week 1 college football. If you want to hear us talk about that, we did that last episode. So we're in full swing, Casino. It's happening. It's happening. Anything else to say before we get out of here?
Let's get out of here.
Also shout out to everybody on TikTok. Our Micah Parsons video I posted yesterday is now our second most viewed, liked, and our liked video we've ever done on TikTok. So,
well, I mean, we pretty much broke it with Adam Schefter.
Right? This has been the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. Adios.
Bye.
Oh no, I don't have an outro. There we go.